Ever felt that sinking feeling? You're ready to trade, the market's moving, and bam! Your transaction on Kraken just fails. You've double-checked everything, you're sure you have the funds, but that infuriating "transaction failed" message keeps popping up. You're not alone. I've been there, we've all been there. It's like watching money slip through your fingers while Kraken just shrugs. So, the real question is, why? Why does this happen, and more importantly, how do we fix it? Let's be honest, Kraken is a major player. It's supposed to be reliable, secure, and efficient. But when your hard-earned capital is locked in limbo, those promises start to feel a little hollow. We're talking about a platform that handles billions in digital assets, yet sometimes, the simplest transaction just won't go through. It's not just frustrating, it's downright concerning. Now, before we dive into the technical rabbit hole, let's set the stage. You're not dealing with some fly-by-night exchange. Kraken has a reputation, and for the most part, they uphold it. But the world of crypto is volatile, complex, and prone to glitches. Think of it like a high-speed, global financial highway, and sometimes, there's a traffic jam you can't see coming. So, what are the usual suspects behind these transaction failures? Let's break it down, starting with the most common and moving towards the more obscure. First up, the classic, insufficient funds. It sounds basic, but you'd be surprised how often this trips people up. Maybe you forgot about a pending order, or perhaps the price of your chosen asset fluctuated more than you expected. Kraken is meticulous, and if there's even a sliver of doubt about your balance, it's going to block the transaction. Double, triple-check your available funds, and remember to account for any fees. Those fees, by the way, can be a sneaky culprit. They might seem small, but they add up, and if you're cutting it close, they could push you below the minimum required balance. Then there's the issue of network congestion. Crypto networks, especially during periods of high activity, can get clogged. Think of it like trying to send an email during a global internet outage. Transactions get queued, confirmations take longer, and sometimes, they just time out. Kraken, like any exchange, relies on these networks to process transactions. If the underlying network is struggling, your transaction will struggle too. This is especially true with assets like Bitcoin and Ethereum, which can experience significant congestion during bull runs. Another common culprit is incorrect input. We're talking about addresses, amounts, and even the type of asset you're trying to trade. A single typo in a crypto address is like sending a letter to the wrong country. It's gone, and there's often no way to get it back. Kraken, for security reasons, is very strict about this. If the information doesn't match perfectly, the transaction fails. And rightly so, because the alternative, losing your assets, would be much worse. Then we get to the more technical aspects. API issues, for example. If you're using Kraken's API to automate your trading, a glitch in the code or a problem with the connection can lead to failed transactions. APIs are powerful tools, but they require precision and maintenance. Even a small error can throw the whole system off. And let's not forget about browser issues. Sometimes, the problem isn't Kraken itself, but your own setup. An outdated browser, conflicting extensions, or even a poor internet connection can interfere with the transaction process. Try clearing your cache, switching browsers, or restarting your router. You'd be surprised how often a simple refresh can solve the problem. Security measures, while essential, can also be a source of frustration. Kraken, like any reputable exchange, has robust security protocols in place. If they detect anything suspicious, they'll err on the side of caution and block the transaction. This could be due to unusual activity on your account, an IP address change, or even a flagged device. While this is ultimately for your protection, it can be a headache when you're trying to make a time-sensitive trade. Then there are regional restrictions. Kraken, like any regulated entity, has to comply with local laws and regulations. Certain assets or services might be restricted in your region, and if you're trying to access them, your transaction will fail. This is often overlooked, but it's a crucial factor to consider. And let's talk about maintenance. Kraken, like any platform, needs to perform regular maintenance to keep its systems running smoothly. During these periods, certain services might be temporarily unavailable, leading to failed transactions. Always check Kraken's official announcements for scheduled maintenance or outages. Now, you're probably thinking, okay, I get the reasons, but what can I actually do about it? Here's where we get practical. First, always double-check your funds and fees. It sounds obvious, but it's the most common mistake. Make sure you have enough to cover the transaction, plus any potential fluctuations in price. Second, be patient with network congestion. During busy periods, transactions can take longer than usual. Don't panic and try to resubmit multiple times, as this can actually exacerbate the problem. Just wait it out and let the network catch up. Third, verify your input. Triple-check addresses, amounts, and asset types. A single typo can be costly. Fourth, troubleshoot your browser and internet connection. Clear your cache, switch browsers, and restart your router. A stable connection is essential for smooth transactions. Fifth, keep your software updated. Whether it's your browser, operating system, or Kraken app, make sure you're running the latest version. Updates often include bug fixes and performance improvements. Sixth, understand Kraken's security measures. If your account is flagged for suspicious activity, contact Kraken support immediately. They can help you resolve the issue and get your account back in working order. Seventh, be aware of regional restrictions. Check Kraken's website for any limitations in your area. Eighth, stay informed about maintenance. Follow Kraken's official announcements for scheduled maintenance or outages. This will help you avoid trying to transact during downtime. And finally, if all else fails, contact Kraken support. They're there to help, and they have access to tools and information that you don't. Don't hesitate to reach out if you're experiencing persistent problems. Look, I get it. Dealing with failed transactions is incredibly frustrating. It's like hitting a brick wall when you're trying to make a profit. But by understanding the common causes and taking the necessary precautions, you can minimize the risk and keep your trading running smoothly. Crypto is a wild ride, and sometimes, you just have to buckle up and ride it out. With that said, thanks for watching and until next time.